Hello, guys. Welcome back. So, I really want to talk about the overall sentiment that we're seeing across the crypto market, which is kind of improving.
Yeah.
I noticed a lot more in DeFi. AJ, I don't know if you've noticed that DeFi seems to be pushing ahead. Maybe because of the Ethereum merge.
Yeah, definitely. Altcoins, they're having a nice recovery. I know that Ethereum has pumped 56, almost 57%. So we are seeing these altcoins, get these bigger pumps, and as you said, that DeFi space as well.
Yeah, which is really good. It is really good. But I do want to share with you initially, guys, we're just going to kind of jump straight into this, have a quick look, because what we're seeing is that we're still not out of the woods in terms of the traditional markets. Just want to give you a quick overview of this. Bank of America survey shows a full investor capitulation amid pessimism. So a capitulation event, guys, is basically when people are like, look, I'm just going to cut my positions at pretty much any cost, even if it's a loss. And so this is a survey amongst fund managers. So the people are supposed to be the smartest of the smart. But, we do often see that they are, sometimes not. It's even some of the fund managers that are kind of the ones who, almost cause these capitulation events. Just through I guess like one person like panics, then they all panic. But looking at the new data, we have a net 58% of fund managers said they're taking lower than normal risk, which the reason why I want to bring this up, guys, risk is one thing that we have to consider. We're in a very risky business. And that is obviously crypto, which means that a lot of people are going to be staying away from that. So looking at taking a percentage, basically taking higher risk than normal. So right now we're lower than what people were feeling in 2008, which is when they had like the massive crash. And I can't click off of this for some reason. So it looks like we're kind of stuck on this, unfortunately. But I'll move on then quickly. But part of, I guess, also what I think we're going to see as a little bit of stress over the next couple of weeks is that we're going to have this story unfold. So all of the companies that were in a bit of hot water, Celsius, 3AC as well, Voyager, we are now seeing that the lawyers from Celsius say that the users gave up their legal right to own crypto. I mean, how do you feel about that, AJ? Kind of seeing this as a title that it doesn't really seem, I don't know, it doesn't seem very fair at all, and I think kind of highlights some of the issues.
It does, definitely. Yeah, it doesn't seem fair at all, and I haven't read through it myself personally, but you hit the nail on the head there. It just doesn't seem fair.
It doesn't, and it's it's these types of things that, like, everything kind of seems quite good in crypto. There are different companies doing different things, and often a lot of them you don't hear about. Celsius offering a really strong return. You kind of think, what, actually, there's a lot of good companies. But then it comes to an issue like this where they've filed for bankruptcy, and what they have said is the lawyers they're now arguing, oh, well, if you used an earn program or you used a borrow program, and you can actually see this here in their terms of service, it says the title to coins is transferred to Celsius, and Celsius is entitled to use, sell, pledge, and rehypothecate, that's a massive word, unnecessary for this time, those coins. And so what we're seeing is they're using this and trying to say, and I will say, guys, the people who are doing the restructuring of Celsius to try and make sure they don't go fully bankrupt they're the same people who were working with Voyager. So keep this in mind. I mean, I think, the guys at Voyager probably, or these lawyers have obviously been chosen for a reason, but these are the people who, we're going to see the crypto news or the crypto world having to deal with. It's people who will say, okay, but actually, no, they're not your coins, so you're not going to get any coins. They'll work really hard to make sure Celsius is okay, but absolutely destroy the reputation of the crypto space, in the, should we say, in the process. But you can see it here. Everyone's obviously talking about this on Twitter as well.
And this is why, personally for me, it's always safer to keep your tokens on something like a cold storage wallet, like a ledger or something. That's what I do personally.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. It's because and it's because of this thing exactly. It
Yeah,
can be seen, and we went through this. Remember, AJ, me and you were kind of following through the Celsius, should we say, debacle as it was like playing out, and we were
yeah,
releasing these videos, and I did show. I think it was called in the risk disclosure. They said, look, we these coins can be repossessed
yeah.
and used to pay off our creditors. I think was some of the exact terming. Um,
And they hide it quite well, don't they?
Oh yeah, it's like a page, page 400, 411,
Yeah,
sector 1B dash dash dash, 3 or whatever, where you're never going to be reading. You're never going
yeah,
to be reading that far.
exactly.
It's the same as all those T's and C's though, where like
Yeah,
you have to click, that little box to say, I've read the terms and conditions, but secretly you have to give them your baby,
yeah,
and um, but yeah, so the new narrative, and this is not from the industry, it's from Celsius themselves. They think that the vast majority of our customers are going to be interested in riding out this crypto winter, remaining long on crypto, having the opportunity to realize their recovery through an appreciation in the crypto macro environment. What that means, guys, is they say, look, I'm not actually going to give you your crypto because I think you don't want your crypto. I think you want to wait until crypto recovers and then you want me to give you your crypto because you don't want it now. No, you definitely don't. That is literally, it's exactly what they're saying. And they're saying, so look, this is our plan. The recovery plan will basically mean that I'm not going to give you your crypto until crypto is actually worth a lot more, and then we can give it to you. Which I think is it's a bit of a I think it's just such a dodgy move. It's such a dodgy move. And I think it's really, really bad for the industry. But we are seeing now a lot more crypto back on exchanges. I
yeah,
don't know. I'm going to be following this. AJ, I think, me and you will be looking at this and seeing how much, this is, only Bitcoin, I will say, about
yeah.
how much more Bitcoin we see moving onto or off of exchanges.
Well,
Because
it's sorry, yeah. I was just going to say quick. It's very bullish when we see, Bitcoin being pulled off of exchanges because it means it's a lot harder for people to sell it, and it means the
shows that
majority of
hodl
the time.
mentality.
Yeah, what they're doing is they're putting it into a cold storage wallet, and just holding it. But when we do see a lot of Bitcoin coming onto exchanges, it means it's a lot easier for people to sell it, and that does mean that people are thinking about selling it, and trying to buy in a lot cheaper.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and that is I think that is the kind of the primary concern for me, is that especially if we have more of this where it's like, oh, actually, hey, we're not going to give you your coins, we're going to wait. Then I think we're going to see a lot more people kind of worried, should we say? It'll either they'll take it off of exchange to try and hodl it themselves because they don't want to have not your keys, not your crypto.
Yeah,
If every single one of these exchanges did what Celsius have done, the whole crypto market would just crash.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I think that's probably what they're doing. But I was going to mention quickly about basically Solana operating on on OpenSea to support that. And I don't think it's very big news at the moment. I think it will be. But since we're on this kind of like Bitcoin, what's going on? Let's have a look at some on-chain analysis. I know that AJ, you have a couple things you want to share with us as to give us a little
yeah.
bit of an insight. I'll have a quick look through while you bring that up. I'll just have a quick look through some of the comments, unless you've already done that.
Cool. Yeah, I brought it. Well, I've just brought it up here, so I'll just go through this quickly. So this is the Bitcoin chart on the top, and then on the bottom we can see the Maya multiple. Now, basically, what we're looking at on the Maya multiple here is this green horizontal line across here. Now, this is the 0.6 level. Now, Bitcoin has never actually dipped below the 0. Has hardly ever dipped below that 0.6 level. And we've only dipped below it around 4 or 5 times in history. So the first time was back in 2011, just before 2012, and you can see that we dipped below that 0.6 level, and we did establish a bottom, and we did have some consolidation around the area. This happened again at the end of 2014, start of 2015. We saw the exact same thing. So we dipped below that 0.6 level. We we printed those green bars here, and we established that bottom, and we got some accumulation, consolidation. We had a consolidation period. Again, in the end of 2018, we printed some green bars where we dropped below that 0.6 level. We established that bottom and we got consolidation. And then we didn't actually print any bars in that 2020 COVID crash. And, for me, that's understandable because it wasn't, a proper bear market. But as of right now, we are in a proper bear market, and we are printing those green bars, meaning that we are below that 0.6 level on the Maya multiple. This, for me, just confirms, that we are in that vicinity of the bottom, and what we are going to see from here is consolidation. Consolidation means accumulation. This is where people are accumulating the majority of their coins and waiting for that bull market to start, where the rest of the world starts to FOMO in. So for me, this is a very, very bullish sign that we have dropped below that 0.6 level. It means we can consolidate now, and it means that we can have that accumulation period. That accumulation period is very, very important, and that's very important for us, the people who want to build our portfolio as big as we can before that bull market starts. This is where we accumulate all of the coins, as much coins and tokens as we can, and then our portfolio explodes as that bull market starts. So right now, for me, I've been saying this for weeks now. This is the perfect time to be getting into crypto. This is a perfect time to be accumulating those coins and DCAing into your positions, and that's exactly what we're doing. And we'll go on to show the two accounts that we have as well. Give you a quick update on them as well.
Yeah, I mean, let's go through those now, AJ. But just to give you a quick overview, so couple comments here. So obviously, hello to everybody. Good to see you again. Really good that everyone's back. So Gurav has said, I bought Ethereum DCAing at an average price of 1,250. Should I sell it before the merge and rebuy after a few months? Will ETH go lower when the merge finally happens and it's no more bad news to be sold out? Obviously we don't know. We can't kind of tell the future, unfortunately. I wish I could. We'd probably be very, very rich. Well, not we probably would. If you could tell the future and you're not rich, like, what you doing? I know. I would say, like, it's a hard one to call, because I think we are aware of the merge, but it might be that once the merge actually happens, then people might start talking about it more and more. So that's when it could be on like traditional news stories, and then we might see like institutions get into it. So to be honest, at 1,250, it's really hard. If you've bought it. If you've just bought it and you haven't done like a trade or something, if you've done a trade, use your stop loss, keep pulling your stop loss up. That way, if you get, like stopped out, it's fine because you're already in profit. But it's hard to say that there's not going to be any more downside. So will we go below 1,250? I think it's a possibility. But yeah, I don't know really.
What I would like to just add on to that is, for me, if you bought around that area, I wouldn't consider selling, because of what the price cycle bottom has indicated to us. The price cycle bottom has indicated that Bitcoin has established that bottom, and there are two other indicators as well that have told us that Bitcoin has established that bottom. Now, if that is true, and Bitcoin has found that bottom, then Ethereum may never even get back down to that price. So you just got to think about sort of you want to be in as cheap as possible. And say you sold now, and the price never got back down to that level again, then you got to think, was it worth really just trying to make that little bit extra gain? realistically, for me, if it does get back down to that price, I would just, continue to DCA in. I wouldn't sell at this price. If it went back down to there, I would just buy some more. And if it went lower, I would continue to DCA. But because we've had indicators that have told us that Bitcoin has established that bottom, for me, I'm not selling. I'm just continuing to DCA if it goes lower.
Let me quickly add this in. So this is one thing that I kind of used to look at quite a lot, and I haven't done it in a couple of weeks because it's pretty much just been like red all the time. But this is the amount of money flowing into certain assets from funds. So this is like, just all think of the big funds essentially. So anyone with like a hedge fund or whatever it is, digital asset fund flows weekly report. So what we're seeing is in Ethereum, there's actually been a kind of an outflow. But one thing that's quite interesting is short Bitcoin. That's basically like betting against Bitcoin. You guys probably know what short is. But yeah, so this still indicates that last week, this is a trailing indicator. It's not a leading indicator, which basically means it tells you the data like from last week, not in the future or what's happening right now. But we've seen a lot of interest this month in shorting Bitcoin and obviously money coming out of Bitcoin. So that was what was happening last week. And then you can again have a look and even you can bring this website up if you want, but you can see which countries are doing what. So there is still like a short interest in crypto. So another indicator to kind of keep in mind when we think about have we actually hit the bottom yet or not. And I see this comment that you've just brought up here, AJ.
Yeah, I just have double checked that, and let me just bring it onto my screen so everyone can see it. Which is the best screen? Let's see if I can bring it onto that screen. No, it won't let me. Okay, here we go. So I have just double checked that, and coming back to here, share my screen. Here we go. So I have just double checked that, and I've seen that the fourth biggest Bitcoin whale has, actually taken 15,000 Bitcoin out of their wallet. So if we take a look here, you can see right there, 15,000 Bitcoin has been taken out of their wallet. Where that has gone to, it doesn't say on this website, I don't think. But I'll have to double check that, and I'll find out where that went to. But yeah, the fourth biggest crypto whale, 15,000 Bitcoin has exited their wallet.
Kind of have to ask, it's like, do they know something that we don't? That's a really cool background you just had there. Was that the Google page?
Yeah.
That's really sick, actually. Nice. So do you have any other on-chain stuff at the moment that might give us some indication as to like where we're going, or I guess even technicals, like other?
Well, we can take a look at the technicals now. Take a quick look at the technicals. So Bitcoin has broken above that bearish flag. It did break up out of this bearish flag last night, and you can see that we are coming back to test this retest here. Now this, for me, especially in the shorter term, does invalidate this $12,000 target that we do have down here. So we can sort of get rid of this because it does invalidate this target as long and only as long as we stay above this previous resistance level here, which is now going to act as support. You can see lots of resistance along this level. And yeah, if we can stay above it, this is great news. If we can use it as support and bounce off this level, that will be extremely bullish news. And it will, for me, invalidate this $12,000 target. However, we can, get a fake out of this as well. And we could enter back into here, meaning that we could come all the way back down to this support level, and then that $12,000 level is still technically in play if we do break this support here. And it would not, if it was a fake out and we did come back into the bearish flag, you could argue that it wasn't even a fake out, that I just charted this wrong and we had to, pull this line up a little bit more. And you can see, we're still getting those touches up here. And this, if we do get rejected today from here, that could be the rejection. But as of right now, I've drawn it like this. For me, this is how I think, it should be charted. And yeah, if we can hold this bounce off this level and use it as support, then that's great news, and that will for me invalidate this $12,000 target just in that shorter term. Now, where could this take us? Well, the technical target for the break to the upside isn't anything too exciting. If we take the channel from the support to the top of the resistance, this could take us around $24,500 approximately. And I did mention yesterday that 28,500 is something that I think is realistic now that we have broken above this. If we can continue to use it as support and bounce off it, because I did show you this VPVR yesterday as well, which gives us sort of the value area high and the value area lows, and it shows us where the majority of the trading range has been. And you can see right now, we are testing this major support level, resistance level on the 4-hour chart. Now, as of right now, we have seen that rejection. We've come back down, and right now we are testing the resistance as support, and we are getting that slight bounce to the upside. This is, fairly bullish. If we can bounce off this resistance, come back up to this resistance, and then attempt to break this resistance, if we can use that as support and then see a bounce off that level, then I think that the $28,500 level is a pretty realistic target, because you can see, we've had this value area low, value area high. The majority, sort of where the majority of the trading range has been, between this value area low and the value area high here, and between the previous value area low and high and the current value area low and high, there wasn't any sort of support along this area. And what happened when we broke above that previous value area low is that we just completely got dumped through this gap here, and then we established this new value area low, value area high area right here. So my thinking is, and from what happens in history, if we do break above this resistance and we do break above this value area high here, then the likelihood of it is that we are going to come straight through this empty pocket here, straight up to the previous value area low, which is currently sat at around $28,500. And that, perfectly lines up with this previous support level. It's been major support. And for me, this is going to act as very strong resistance. So that's what I'm looking at in the sort of shorter term. And you can see, if we go back a little bit further as well, we've had this value area here as well, and when we did break below this value area, we came straight down. We had the price sort of tank, and then we established a new value area low and a value area high. So for me, if we can break above this resistance, the likelihood of it is we are going to come to around $28,500, and I think that is going to be a nice enough sort of recovery for Bitcoin. And then at that level, I think we are going to come into very strong resistance up here, where we then get a rejection from that level, and then we can sort of establish sort of where the price is going to go from there. But as of right now, we can't really say if we are going to get that rejection or not. But that's what I do anticipate, that we come up, test this as resistance, and then get rejected, because I do think we are in for a much longer period of consolidation. I do think we are going to range potentially, between that sort of low area of maybe $17,500 or just above it, and that $28,500 level. This is strong resistance, and we are going to have lots of strong support along this area. And we are. Once we do establish that bottom, we are going to be in that consolidation, that accumulation period, and that's when we see the price range quite a lot before we get that initial cross on the pi cycle bottom indicator, that bullish cross that we saw back here, and that will be the confirmation for me that we are starting that bull market once again. I showed you yesterday we did get that bearish cross. For me, that's bullish. It has signaled to us that this was the bottom here. Was it the bottom? We can never be 100%, but in history, every time this has flipped, it has been the bottom. Also, the MZ oscillator, that's printed a green bar. That's another indication that we have established the bottom. It's only ever printed green bars when we have established bottoms. So, that's another indicator. And the MZ Bitcoin bottom indicator, this green line here, I need to go on to the daily for this one here. You can see that we are at this green line here. We've only ever been at this green line before when we've established that bottom. Now, I told you yesterday as well that previously we've only ever just touched this line and bounced straight off it. And the difference that we are seeing here is that we are consolidating along this line. So that's the only sort of negative thing I do have to say about what's going on with this indicator right now, because we haven't just come down and tested it. We have consolidated at it. But the pi cycle bottom and the MZ oscillator have indicated to me that we have established that bottom. That is why I would not suggest to sell any of your crypto. If say you bought at 18,000 and you're sitting in nice profit right now, then I would suggest, it's not financial advice, but for me, what I'm doing and what we're doing with our accounts is not selling, because what if these indicators are right? They have been right in history. So the price may never come back down to 17,500. So personally, for me, it's just continuing to dollar cost average if it does go lower, which these indicators are telling us that it's not going to go lower. But the indicators cannot be right 100% of the time. So you do have to sort of be aware of that. And, talking about the accounts, Ben, the accounts are sitting in some nice profit. So we did have that $500 account that is currently in $100 profit. Not even all of our triggers have been hit yet. This is sitting in $100 profit. So the account is at $609. That's on a $500 account, and on the $5,000 account, that's in a nice $1,000 profit, sitting at $6,000. So this is looking good. Not all of our buy orders have been hit. We have had buy orders at 15,500 and 16,000 and 17,000. They have not been hit yet, but we are just going to keep them there just in case the price does go lower. But if we do get a confirmation that the bottom has been established, then what we will do is we will cancel those buy orders and we will move them higher up, or even just dollar cost average in again, as we get this consolidation and this accumulation period. So that's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin right now. I think a relief rally is looking pretty likely. It is needed as well, because if we're looking at sort of the higher time frames, and looking at the indicators there, we are very, very, extremely oversold. So for me, a nice little relief rally is something that is needed. Looking at the daily though, some of the indicators like the stochastic RSI and the CCI are telling us that we are overbought, and the RSI is sitting, sort of around that 50 area, so pretty neutral. But it has, yesterday, I think it was yesterday, we did actually break above that 50 level on the RSI for the first time since, when was the last time we were above it? So that was the 5th of April. So, that's bullish news that we are now above this level. If we can use this as support and continue to the upside, then I think that's $28,500 level is something that is pretty realistic.
AJ, let me just quickly are you on the daily, right, for the Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Bitcoin daily. So what I'm gonna do is we've just been the Jason Investor. He says that have a look at the Wyckoff theory in Investopedia. I had a look in Investopedia, but it didn't. I don't know. I'm gonna say I didn't get it. So because look, this does look like all-time high. This does look very much like the all-time high. So we had like a bump, we had an all-time high, and then it's basically just legs down. Well, you're not going to have continuous just like straight drop. There's always going to be a bit of profit taking or whatever, or when orders just kind of get filled or whatever. But kind of seeing this, this is very similar to what we've seen with Bitcoin. This is very, very similar.
Yeah.
And then this is just like the mark upwards. But basically, the Wyckoff cycle, for anyone who's not aware, is you have 4 cycles. You basically have one leg to the downside. Here you go. So accumulation, markup, distribution, markdown. Now, what that looks like is, and just because there's no other pictures here, so I want to be able to, kind of tell you as a picture. I want to show you, I think it's probably a better word to tell you. Going back here, images. This is what we are looking at now. So this is the accumulation schematic, which I think is kind of what we've seen. So this, movement to the downside, a little bit of recovery, movement to the downside. But you can like lay this. I don't know how. I think on TradingView you can do it. I don't remember how to do it. I don't remember how to do it, but I did it before. So maybe we'll do it for you next time.
Yeah.
But there's a few different phases to each of these. So this is kind of looks like maybe this is where we are. Maybe we're just printing this new high. I don't know, AJ, if you can have a look at this, what's on my screen, because I can't look at both of them at the same time. But have a look at what we're seeing here, and then see if that's fairly similar to the daily Bitcoin. If it is, and obviously we can keep an eye out. And guys, the reason why I want to, if this works and if it looks like if it overlays really well, then this is going to be a very good sign, because overall what we see is where's the full thing? Here, you kind of see this thing. So this is going to be the same as what we see here. So a lot of movement to the upside. This is like a full cycle, should we call it? But obviously I wanted to just zoom in on this little bit here so that we could see what's going to happen when we're at the bottom of the cycle, which is where we currently are.
Yeah, I might have to
overlay. We'll come back to this.
I might have to come back to that in tomorrow's stream and overlay it on top of the charts. Because I'm not 100% sure how to do it right now. I know you can do it.
That's right. Yeah, it's on one of the indicators. You can do it somehow. But anyway, So another comment here is, I guess there's as many theories to say we hit the bottom as there is to say we aren't there yet. And I think one thing that I took away from the other day when AJ went through this was, like, when we were at 60,000 or 69,000, like literally at the top, there were still people saying, "Oh, I reckon we're going to have 100K Bitcoin," because no one likes to see the change of, I guess, the change of direction. Like when you're going up, you think you're always going to be going up. And when you're going down, you always think you're going to be going down. Everyone was so sure we were hitting 100K Bitcoin on the way up. But, now it seems like that 100K is swapped with 10K. And everyone seems to be saying about 10K, But it's a really tough one. But I think
it is.
I'm just going to say, like, I think the best thing that we can do is just accept, if we're going to, not to try and time the bottom, is just accept that, hey, look, I'm happy to be buying at this level. So if it goes to an all-time low, I'll just, I'll buy a little bit more. But if we've already hit that, I actually don't mind, because I'm not in this to get out once we hit, 30K, 40K. I'm looking to stay in this. If I see Bitcoin recover, I'm in it until, at least 75K or whatever.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I think I would be going for. Is there anything you want to add on to that, AJ? Because I've got 2 more points I want to make, but they're not like, they're market related, not crypto related.
Yeah, well, so I'll just sort of bring up another chart, actually.
I'll add it onto your stream. Oh,
done it at the same time.
Yeah,
here we go. So, I've talked about the CVDD many times before. That's sat at 15,000, just about $15,500. So that's, this has predicted the bottom of the past 3 bear markets, and it does move. When I first showed you, it was sat at $15,300. So, it does move. It is a moving average. So it can continue up, and, maybe this meets the bottom at a higher price than it is as of right now. But what I want to show you is that this also, predicts sort of the top. And, as Ben said, we want to be in this for as long as possible. But this, this indicator here, this Bitcoin price model, has signaled the past 3 tops as well. So you can see back in 2011, back in 2013, and back in 2018. So what we are going to look at when we do see the price sort of get to the top of this is, maybe then, we get out of the market, and then, we can short the market a lot. So, and then all the way, short the market and get out of the market all the way back down to this, close to this CVDD level. Then you get back into the market, and then you exit your long position. So this is something sort of we'll look at as well. But we want to be in this for as long as we can, but you do have to know when to take profit as well. And this shows the perfect times to sort of take profit as well. So as the months go on, we will be keeping an eye on this as well. When we get close to sort of that all-time high again, we'll be keeping an eye on this and see where that top is sat. But the CVDD is what we are focusing on at the moment, because we are in that bear market and we are trying to find that bottom. So hopefully this price does come and meet this CVDD, because this is sort of the main indicator that I am looking at Bitcoin sort of bottoming out at this CVDD. As I said, it is a moving average, so it can continue to increase in price. So we will see if it can meet this, meet the actual price. And when it does meet the actual price, for me, that will be a solid confirmation that we have established that bottom, because it has predicted the past 3 bear markets. Now the pi cycle bottom indicator, that has only predicted the past 2 bear markets. I know it's this has only predicted 1 more bear market, but for me this is a much more reliable tool to be using. The pi cycle bottom as well. I know it took some time for it to actually get the right amount of data that it needed to actually establish those bottoms. But for me, I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on this and see how the CVDD price does change over the course of the weeks, and see if we can, actually touch that price. And once we touch that price, that's sort of when I'm going to confirm that we have established that bottom. As of right now, I want to say that we have established the bottom, because I am seeing a lot. I've showed you a lot of indicators that have told us that we are at that bottom. But I do just want to see this CVDD get met. Once it has been met, then I will be happy that Bitcoin's bottom is in.
Yeah, and I'll bring up the stock to flow. I saw someone just mention that someone mentioned about the stock to flow. I don't remember exactly where that was, but it's in the comments somewhere. And so looking at Plan B, someone mentioned Plan B anyway. This is the stock to flow model. So one thing that I think we can kind of take into consideration is obviously we know every 4 years there's a halving, and it's usually like just prior to halfway through this like cycle that we have an all-time high. And then again, halfway through, this is probably halfway in between the 2 halvings, and we have a bit of fuck, messed that one up, haven't I? Sorry, guys.
It should be a home button.
Yeah, I've ruined it. What a novice. So anyway, take this off me. But what I'm saying is, I think, but I think we're going to have to, just because of the cyclicity of it, we'll probably, I think get back to another all-time high, but I'm going to say that's probably going to be middle of maybe 2023. But it does indicate that we are relatively low, unless we just completely invalidate this stock to flow model completely, and then just have a bit of a slow recovery up. I think we're going to have to at some point break above this line, because we haven't really done that, to be honest. And I think that's probably going to be something that we will do. And I've always said, I reckon the end of this year, we're going to begin to see a massive price recovery, getting back to that 50, maybe 60,000. I'm not going to say it's going to happen exactly in December, but I think the beginning of next year and the ending of this year will start to feel a lot easier about being so crazy and being into Bitcoin. Because right now, everyone's just like, we're probably all getting a lot of stick. Like, oh, how's your crypto doing? You loser. All right, shut up, guys. So anyway, that's my kind of thoughts on that.
Gurav has asked, can you please break down when should we take profits out of Ethereum, just like you did for Bitcoin? We can take a quick look at Ethereum. If I just show my screen right now. So Ethereum, we have been trading in this sort of bear flag. It's not a proper bear flag, because normally a bear flag does consolidate towards the upside, but sort of this range here, we did break to the upside. We did see a massive pump, and I told you if we did break to the upside here, we would most likely be coming up to that $1,400 target. For me, I thought that was going to act as more resistance than it did, because previously it's been strong resistance and strong support. But we did just smash through this level. If I zoom in sort of maybe the 8 hour, here we go. We did get slight resistance at this level. We got a rejection, but then we just smashed through that level. And for taking profits for Ethereum, if you're looking to take profits in a shorter term and trying to get back in a little bit cheaper, then potentially around this $1,700 level is something where you can look to sort of be taking profits, because previously there's been major support and sort of major resistance as well when we were below it. So this is a level that I will be looking at. Ethereum maybe seeing a rejection, most likely seeing a rejection at that level, and maybe even before that level, because if we are looking at the indicators, the RSI, the stochastic RSI and the CCR, they are all very oversold. And even if we go into the daily as well, I'm pretty sure they're oversold. Yeah, they are oversold. So I think, on the daily, it does signal that we can, on the RSI, we can have that last little push, maybe up to $1,700. But we are in for a pullback, and hopefully, that pullback could come all the way down to $1,400 level and hold that level, and that will be very bullish for me as well, because as I said, that's a major resistance and support level. If we can find support here, bounce off that level, and then come and retest this level here sometime in the future and break above that level, then we can start talking about Ethereum coming back up to that $2,000 level, $2,500 level. But as of right now, I think if we do come up to this level here, I think it's going to be very strong resistance. Indicators are very overbought. So I'm looking at the price potentially coming up to here and seeing a rejection from that level. So for me, I think I would take some profits. I know on my personal account, I do have some trades open on Bitcoin and Ethereum, so I'll be looking to take profit around there, because I am anticipating sort of a pullback, and in Bitcoin as well. All the indicators are telling me that we are overbought, so a pullback, I think, from around maybe $1,700 could be, from this area here, but I think there's a possibility we could come up to this resistance level here, test that, and then get rejected from there.
Nice. Can you have a quick look? Just bring up Alice, ALICE. Yeah, what's the USD?
I'm not sure what the ticker is for that, actually.
It's just ALICE. The project is called MyNeighborAlice. Yeah. Hashtag. No, sorry. $. Hashtag $. I've only heard this a little bit. It's one of those. It's like a play to earn, isn't it? I believe. Whoever commented.
I think so. Yeah.
Let me bring it up. I'll have a quick look. So for everybody who's interested, it's a farming themed play to earn builder game built on Chromia. Okay. So it's a bit like a Decentraland. You can buy your own virtual islands, collect and build exciting items, while also making new friends. Hey, we all want to make new friends. That's good. Maybe we should start our own little server on there.
Yeah.
And then you just see me come and burn down all of your hay and kill your horses.
Ooh, friends.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Oh, Alice friends.
Yeah, but on the TA side of stuff, this is actually looking fairly this is looking fairly good at the moment, but it is, this is a bearish pattern. This is a descending triangle. So just be careful. I have gone through Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin and Ethereum, you know, I do think they are in for a shorter term pullback, meaning that, you know, we could see a pullback in Alice as well. We are coming up to this major daily resistance here. You know, you can see lots of resistance. We are at that point as of right now. So if we do see a pullback in Bitcoin and Ethereum, you know, the likelihood of it is Alice will have a pullback as well, maybe back down to this support level here, you know, lots and lots of support. But if we do break below this support level here, this horizontal support level here, then that is incredibly bearish. You know, we could see a price target of 1.23 if we do come down, if we do break down out of this level. But obviously, you know, you've got to be careful of sort of those fake outs as well. So you would want to see a breakout, come for the retest, and then, you know, there's a potential shorting opportunity there. But as of right now, you know, we are testing this resistance. If we do break above this resistance, that is good news. But again, you know, we want to see either lots of volume, or if we don't see the volume, we want to see a pullback, and then that sort of signals a level that you can sort of get into, and then the move to the upside. And then you'll be looking at the previous levels, the previous resistance levels, as sort of take profit. So this could be your, you know, TP1 here, and this could be your TP2 here. For me, you know, holding altcoins, I am just being a little bit skeptical with them at the moment, because if there is more downside for Bitcoin, then there's, you know, a lot more downside for altcoins. So, you know, I would be careful with how much you're putting into these. But yeah, this looks quite good. If we can break towards the upside, you know, you got that TP1 and then you got the TP2 here, that would be great. But if we did break to the downside again, you know, I'll be looking for that retest to get your entry. And then, you know, we'd be looking at the target all the way down here.
Yeah, that's pretty severe if we do get down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I might actually give this game a go, you know.
Yeah.
Because you remember back in the day when Axie Infinity, they had like people just started getting really rich off of Axie Infinity. I will say I missed the boat on that. You know, I didn't get really rich off of Axie Infinity, but it nonetheless, like you know, it seems like if you could just play games and somehow become rich. I don't know why they don't do that with Call of Duty.
Yeah.
You just see a whole load of like me and all of my nerd friends. Just but that to be honest, I think that's kind of where NFTs probably will go. Is they have to be like adopted into mainstream games, I should say. But yeah, guys, I think we should probably wrap up soon. I just want to drop on like kind of two more things at the moment. Like I said, it's earnings season. The reason why I want to bring this up is that we see like Verizon, we see Twitter, we see Netflix, we see Snapchat. So these are a little bit more tech side. Nasdaq as well. I mean, Nasdaq like probably won't really, you know, won't matter too much. But you know, if you're like a normal trader or like a, you know, I should say a stock trader, this will probably be of interest to you. But take note of the tech, because if Netflix, let's say, massively underperform, or Snapchat, or even maybe Tesla as well, anything in the NASDAQ will put a really bad risk-off sentiment into the market. And with risk-off comes money out of cryptocurrency. So keep that in mind. And again, if you're not a stock trader, but you are just like a Forex trader, you know, trading currencies the same way we do like with Bitcoin, be aware that the UK inflation rate's coming out. This is just the UK version of what happened in the US the other day. And also we have the European Central Bank interest rate decision. So, you know, we're talking about, you know, the US are going to have like 2.75% if they do this much. So the ECB they're still on 0%. Like, come on, guys, sort it out. How long do you want to have this inflation for? And then just a little bit of like, it is kind of important news, but you know, I don't think it'll affect the crypto market too much. So keep this in mind if you are in if you're a Forex trader, I should say. I don't know why that escapes me. But also then, yeah, towards later on in the week, we might see a bit of volatility, especially on Wednesday and Thursday, if we have a bad report from these tech giants, because that might then be a bit of a you know, a flight away from risk, and therefore that might then have, I guess, a bit of profit taking. You know, maybe the indicators reset that AJ's just mentioned. We might see crypto kind of fall down a little bit.
Yeah. And just answer this question. I think Jason Investor has said overbought question mark. Just to let you know what I mean by overbought. When I say overbought, normally, I mean sort of overextended, and that's sort of the right time for it. And what you can see, these indicators here, when they're at the top, that means that they're overextended and they are sort of due a reversal. You can see it back here. So you can see the RSI was very overbought, overextended. The stochastic RSI overbought, overextended. The CCI overbought, overextended. We saw them pull back, and at the same time, we saw the price pull back as well. So that's what I mean when I say overbought. The technical term is actually overextended.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Morning, Devon. A little bit late to the party today, but good to see you anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. If there are, do you have any other questions? I'm going to take silence as a no.
Yeah.
All
actually,
right.
DXY. Let me just have a quick look at that. Yeah. So there's actually a video that I wanted to bring to you guys. I might do that today or tomorrow. Just going deeper into the DXY and how the stock market and the Bitcoin the crypto market has been affected by sort of what the DXY has been doing in history. But just taking a quick look at sort of what the DXY is doing as of right now, we did break above this very important resistance level right now, and we are seeing a slight pullback. That is why we are seeing the crypto market and the stock market have, that nice momentum towards the upside. But if we do continue to see the dollar increase, then there is most definitely going to be some more a longer consolidation period, or even more downside for Bitcoin. But I will go into a video, where I properly deep dive into this and show you what's happened in history, because there is a lot of correlation sort of with what happens with the stock market, the DXY, and the crypto market. So I want to take a deep dive into that and show you what is sort of happening, and it sort of gives us an understanding of what can happen for the traditional market and the crypto market.
It's also like, understanding that is like, if you understand exactly why the DXY is going up, if you begin to see it go down, you then have an anticipation or an understanding as to what the rest of the market is doing. So, it's like, okay, people are moving out of bonds, they're moving into other stuff, and so if you can understand that, I think that'd be actually really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great video.
There's a chart that I want to show everyone, and it gives us a really good understanding of what's happened in history. It's never failed us, so I don't think it will fail us anytime soon.
Well, there we go. Even in this world where we don't know what the heck's going on from one day to another, having these little indicators are quite useful, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, there we go. All right, guys. Well, let's get back to you tomorrow. That's gonna be good. I'm feeling a little bit better. I was a bit haven't been on. So I apologize to everybody. Jack, you absolute mental man. Look at this guy. 100x long on Bitcoin. Sweet. I like the audacity. You've sent it. That's a full send. Fair play. I think I might just short it now, just to see if I could manipulate the market so you lose. I'm joking. But anyway, guys, thanks for sticking around. It was always good to see you again, and we will be back tomorrow for another full update.
Yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. See you tomorrow.
Take care, everyone.
That like button.
Yeah, hit the like button and subscribe. Bell notifications. You know the score.
Yeah.
See you